This is a program created specially for Furlong TV about Lithuanian theater showcase in the city of Klaipeda, Lithuania.
Kristina, can you please explain to our audience in Furlong how complicated it was to make this first Lithuanian theater showcase in Klaipeda after COVID break?
I can say that it was not so hard because we have some experience before. In 2019 we made our first edition of showcase, so we have some experience how to arrange it. And this year we had also a lot of production. We made the same schedule to announce that there is some kind of concourse where during this concourse theaters send us applications, and we just choose which looked to us the best ones. So it was not so hard, and that's what I can say quite easy.
Okay. In 2019, there were representatives of Ukraine and Belarus. Nobody did that. Why?
It's the situation which happened in February. So we decided don't invite people from Russia, and this is opinion from the government, and we agree with this. But talking about Belarus ones also, we kindly apologize to the people who would like to come that this year we have to postpone their comings here.
Maybe the most complicated was Klaipeda theater staging of Within Lina's Lex about Caravaggio. It was done by talented director from Poland, Agata Dudu-Grać. What other directors do you invite to work in Klaipeda theater?
We invite most talented ones, I can say. Our artistic director and theater manager, Thomas, invite directors to create here. We are traveling to other festivals to see what's happening around the world, and then we are trying to make some deals and to invite them to come here to create productions. So we are very happy about Agata's Duda-Grać performance, and I can say today she is coming again here, and she will start new rehearsals about the new production, which will be in October 2nd.
What about other medical shows?
We have planned to. We have arranged the plan for 2024. So we have a lot of directors in the row, so there will be Lithuanian ones and also Polish ones. Mikhaylov will come in winter, and then we will have Adomas Juška, the young generation director, and also young generation director Jokūbas Brazys.
Thank you very much, Kristina. Labai ačiū.
Okay. So
Dear Tzi-Yu, why did you decide to fly from Taiwan to Lithuania?
Because basically I have never watched any Lithuanian theater, and I'm curious about the situation of contemporary theater in Lithuania, and that's why I'm here.
Is it somehow connected with the fact that Lithuania recognized the sovereignty of Taiwan, spoiling its relations with China?
Well, I won't say that's the direct reason, because I publicly funded to fly here, and in my when I applied for the public funding for attending this festival, I did write about how Lithuania is trying to connect to Taiwan, and how a cultural field can contribute to this kind of a soft power connection. But well, that's just paperwork saying. I'm just simply curious about the situation here. So maybe politics are not that important to me in a sense.
I know that you had tried Lithuanian national cuisine. How do you like it?
I only tried. As far as I know there are a lot of potato dishes, and they are a bit heavy to me. But it's quite delicious. But delicious to a certain amount of food. If it is too much, that's too much for me. So yeah.
Are you affiliated with National Taiwan University?
Yes.
Did you finish it or?
No, I'm still doing my master's degree there.
Not finished master degree?
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I do theater research, and mainly work with Bertolt Brecht and his relationship with ancient Greek tragedy. So try to find a connection between them, and how Bertolt Brecht's method speaks to the language of Greek tragedy.
Oh. I read your article about cancellation of the Taiwan International Festival of Arts in 2020 because of COVID. When is it planned to start these festivals again?
Okay. It started. It was reopened this year, so in person, but they did it kind of online last year.
Will you recommend any performance from this showcase then?
This showcase?
Yeah, from this showcase.
Oh, I like the first performance, the pocket.
Yeah.
The small one in the studio, where more like an object theater. I like that. I usually like a performance that don't really require a lot of language, despite the fact that language is an important element in theater. But I always appreciate those productions where language are not overly used, but we see a lot of bodies and how the actors interact with objects, and that's what I like from this festival.
Okay.
distant kind of thing. I don't really see a lot of European theater, and so what I can do is try to do a comparison between what I've seen in this festival and what I've experienced in Taiwan. I think because a lot of Taiwanese theater is strongly affected by European and American method, so we do a lot of contemporary theater, which are mostly experimental. So what I can say is that they are experimental and in very diverse methods. So it's really hard to find a single track of what they are doing now. I think now our actors are trying to develop their own performing method instead of working only with European method, because we are trying to find if there is a Taiwanese body and how is that incorporated in Taiwanese theater. That's what I can say so far. Yeah. But after all, I would say that our method diverses. So, but they are trying to do something more abstract instead of realism performances or realism text. So, yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Jane, you are the executive director of NYU's Kerbal Performance Arts Center.
Yes.
Why did you come all the way from New York to Klaipeda?
Because I've always known about Lithuanian theater, but I've never experienced it firsthand, and the opportunity was one I did not want to turn down.
Can you also explain the name of your center?
Oh, sure. I work at NYU, New York University, and it's the Performing Arts Center. So when it was being built 20 years ago, it's a naming opportunity. So it's named after Jack Skirball, who was actually both a rabbi and a Hollywood producer. He produced a lot of Hitchcock films, and he became very rich, and he became very generous, and he died about 25 years ago, I believe. So the foundation named the Performing Arts Center after him and gave a very nice donation for the naming rights.
Could you please share your impression of the city of Klaipeda?
Wow. It's not like a typical European city at all. It's, and I can see that because of its background. It's being part German, part Lithuanian, the Russian, all of that. So it's a hybrid place where all three of these cultures come together. And it's really interesting because it's reflected in the architecture, in the food, and even in the theater a little bit. So it's all really interesting.
What do you say about Lithuanian theater showcase?
It's incredibly interesting. I've seen some really excellent things. Some very surprisingly excellent things. So I'm very happy that I made the decision to come here because totally unexpected, delightful surprises I've seen. It's been wonderful, truly wonderful, visually spectacular.
Have you chosen something for your center here?
Not yet. It takes a while for all that to trickle down, but I'm already in discussion to bring something from a few seasons back from the Vilnius National Theater. So I've been in discussion with them. Then COVID, of course, shut that down. But tomorrow, when I go back to Vilnius, I'm going to meet with them to kind of firm up those details. So probably nothing from this showcase, though I'm going to recommend 2 performances to some colleagues of mine who I think it would be very good for either their festival or their theater.
So can you disclose name of the actress?
I'd rather not. I don't want to build a false hope.
Will it be Oscar Skoršunovas?
No.
Okay.
Well, there's still one more performance to see of his, right? Tonight.
Yes.
So who knows? But so far, no, because those productions are too big.
Yeah.
negaliu. Apsivyšiu. Mįslė. Išplėskite akitas. Įtempkite ausitas. Pamankštinsime savo pilkąsias ląsteles.
Isabell, are you first time in Lithuania?
Yes, I'm for the first time in Lithuania. Well, of course, I'm now very much focused here on Klaipeda, and we've been to Palanga, so it's exactly that area close to the Baltic Sea. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's calm. It's very beautiful here. So I'm here in a kind of double function. On one hand, I write for the special interest magazine Theater Heute, so I will write a report about the festival, the showcase. And on the other hand, I'm part of a research group, and we analyze arts, performing arts in crisis. And therefore, I work for the University of Hildesheim. Well, first of all, I didn't have too much expectations. Explicitly, I was very curious what I would see here. Of course, I have been, I know a little bit of Russian or Ukrainian theater, so it's not completely something I've never been to or never experienced, but I just didn't know whether it would be similar or, So what did I experience? I experienced a kind of theater language that has a tendency to create huge pictures, right, on stage, that tends to, to create a kind of spectacle, to overwhelm and fascinate its audience. That's maybe something most of the classical theater performances we have seen have in common. That they're very strong in a physical sense. We have an ensemble here in the theater that are very strong, that are very educated in their physical expression, dance, and so on. And it has a lot to do with arrangement, choreography.
Okay. What could you say about the interpretation of Othello staged by Oskaras Koršunovas in the Vilnius City Theatre?
Well, first of all, of course, the setting is surprising, right? As he has chosen to a black woman to play the role of Othello. And I was very curious how that would somehow change or deconstruct the play, right? Its relations. But then somehow I found out that maybe for me this setting wasn't enough, because on one hand you might think, yeah, it makes all the patterns and the relationships that are in the play, especially between the genders, the male and the female, more clear. But I mean, anyway, today they're obvious. You have very much these innocent but also tricked and passive and abused, murdered finally woman, and so I didn't really understand why to do that for deconstructing reasons, and on the other hand you might even think that the message of the piece is that even if you would change the gender roles, like a black woman now playing Othello, nothing would change. So that would be another interpretation of it. And so I was a bit confused about why he made that decision. Although it was a very strong, overwhelming, colorful, playful piece of art.
Few words about the production between Lena's legs of the Klaipeda theater and the director from Poland, Agata Duda-Grać.
For me, that was, as far as the conception or the basic idea of the performance, the staging is concerned, maybe the strongest work. The idea to take the paintings of Caravaggio and put them into a scenery, give it a life, a staging, a narration with what happened before, what happened after, and I think it's a great idea, and there were a lot of scenes I actually liked a lot, also from a female point of view, trying to, explore the female part a bit, because these pictures very often, I'm not talking about Judas and Holofernes, but of course you have a certain tradition in cultural history and the canonic interpretations. I found that very thrilling. Finally, I got a bit lost in these last pictures. And I found it somehow, it was an extremely humorous approach. So there were a lot of situations that really made you laugh. Like contrasting the old pictures and the old aesthetics of these paintings with nowadays speech also and problems. But finally I found it a bit too reductive to focus that much on the love relationship between Caravaggio, or the unhappy or tragic love relationship between him and Lena. So I found that a bit too private. I think there were more aspects that would have been interesting to tell. I enjoyed our community a lot. I was really amazed by how many international professionals were here, and I found that incredibly inspiring, especially after, I have not traveled for quite some time, because of the pandemic situation, and I found that great and inspiring, getting to know other perspectives, what has happened from these other perspectives in the last 2 years. Also to discuss the war, the invasion of Russia into Ukraine from very different angles and perspectives. I found that completely thrilling. It was a great opportunity, honestly.